The world didn't expect this, not even Elon Musk. From Burkina Faso, a nation often overlooked, President Ibrahim Traoré stunned the globe in August 2025 with three bold inventions: a salt-to-freshwater system to fight drought, Africa's first electric military truck proving energy independence, a real-time agricultural drone for record harvests. This is more than engineering, it's a declaration Africa can innovate for itself. With no massive factories, no Silicon Valley, and a GDP under $20 billion, Burkina Faso has achieved what richer nations still struggle with. Traoré's message is clear: the era of dependency is over, solutions made in Africa, for Africa, by Africans. President Ibrahim Traoré unveiled three revolutionary inventions: a salt-to-freshwater system, bringing clean water to Sahel villages where survival depends on every drop; Africa's first electric military truck, breaking free from imported fuel, proving energy independence is no longer a dream; a smart agricultural drone, planting seeds, monitoring soil, and helping farmers fight drought and hunger. These are not just machines. They are a declaration. They were not built in Silicon Valley or funded by foreign aid. They were born in African schools, workshops, and farms. Traoré put it simply: we build because we must, not because we have money. And that is the essence of this moment: innovation driven by necessity, not by wealth. For decades, Africa was told to consume, not to create. But today, Burkina Faso sends a new message: sovereignty is built in laboratories and classrooms, not in parliaments. If more nations follow this path, global markets will feel the shift. Because these inventions are more than technology. They are the blueprint of Africa's technological sovereignty. Global media barely covered it, but in Africa the reaction was electric. Burkina Faso, a nation with a GDP under $20 billion, unveiled inventions that shook the continent: clean water systems, electric military trucks, and smart agricultural drones. On social media, hashtags like #AfricaCanBuild spread fast. Students in Lagos and Nairobi asked, if Burkina Faso can, why not us? The impact is already visible: fewer waterborne diseases, higher crop yields, and record enrollments in engineering programs. These are not just machines. They are symbols of sovereignty. A message clear to the world: Africa will no longer wait for permission, it will build its own future. Traoré is rewriting the rules of growth. Burkina Faso has redirected $150 million of its own funds into local innovation, unthinkable for a nation once dismissed as too poor to build. By empowering cooperatives and veteran engineers, the country proves that experience plus fresh ideas can accelerate transformation. The vision goes beyond borders: a West African technology network, sharing training, research, and blueprints to reduce reliance on imports worth billions. The symbolism is historic. For centuries, Africa was cast as a supplier of raw materials. Today, Burkina Faso dares to be a creator, not just a consumer. If this model succeeds, it could redirect diaspora remittances into local enterprise and spark a continent-wide movement. This is more than technology. It is a political declaration: Africa's progress can be homegrown, inclusive, and sovereign. If one of Africa's smallest economies can build this, what excuse remains for larger nations? Burkina Faso's three inventions, freshwater systems, electric military trucks, and smart drones, ignited what many now call the Burkina Shock. For the first time, the flow of innovation was reversed, from Africa to the world. In Washington, Paris, and London, policymakers felt uneasy. If a $20 billion economy can do this, what happens when Nigeria, South Africa, or Egypt follow? Western think tanks warn aid programs may lose influence, and corporations earning billions from African markets could face disruption. Analysts project industries worth over $800 billion could be reshaped. But while the West hesitated, Africa celebrated. Social media exploded with #AfricaCanBuild. Students held hackathons, universities hosted debates, and civil society groups demanded funding for local innovation. Africans began to ask proudly, if Burkina Faso can do it, why not us? For decades, Africa was painted as dependent, raw materials shipped out, foreign aid shipped in. But Traoré's announcement shattered that story. A desalination system that breaks NGO dominance. An electric military truck proving armies don't need imports. An agricultural drone that challenges foreign agribusiness. Western policymakers worry, if Africa controls its minerals and its technology, who really needs unfair contracts or overpriced imports? The shift is bigger than symbolism. Africa holds 30% of the world's minerals. Imagine desalination systems mass-produced in West Africa, exported to Asia. Electric trucks competing with American defense giants. Drones designed for tropical farms, sold across Latin America. For Africa, it's liberation. For Western corporations, it's disruption. The phrase Burkina Shock didn't just trend in Africa, it shook European financial headlines. Suddenly, the ground under global economics felt unsteady. For decades, Western powers held influence through aid, debt, and military presence. But Burkina Faso's breakthrough shows a new path, and with it, Western leverage begins to fade. Russia, China, and India quickly embraced the moment, calling it proof of a multipolar world. The West, however, hesitated, torn between denial and fear of legitimizing Africa's awakening. Yet the greatest impact may not be political or economic, but cultural. Across Africa, people are reimagining what it means to be African, not consumers of foreign aid, but creators of global solutions. For once, Africa is not reacting to the world. The world is reacting to Africa. Yes, risks remain. Can Burkina Faso sustain momentum against financial limits, political pressures, or foreign sabotage? Will larger economies embrace the model or crush it? No one knows. But one truth is undeniable: the myth of African technological inferiority is broken. Burkina Shock may come to symbolize more than inventions. It could mark a turning point in history. A moment where Africa steps from the periphery to the center stage, not as a consumer, but as a creator. And perhaps the greatest invention of all is the courage to believe that sovereignty can be engineered. History may not remember it as just 3 inventions, but as the birth of a doctrine redefining sovereignty. In 2023, President Ibrahim Traoré unveiled the National Self-Reliance Plan. No IMF loans. No multinational dictates. Instead, domestic resources, local knowledge, national pride. This is the Traoré effect. Technology not as charity, but as liberation. Each machine, each system, not just an invention, but a statement. Africa will no longer ask permission to survive or to progress. The symbolism is clear. Burkina Faso, with fewer resources than many cities, has achieved more through $200 million in self-investment than decades of foreign aid. This is not just about machines. It is a political declaration: Africa will no longer be defined by dependency, but by creativity and resilience. Traoré's message is simple. Freedom is not begged for. It is claimed. From villages facing drought to classrooms hungry for knowledge, the signal is the same. the time of waiting is over. Burkina Faso has reclaimed the pen of history.